The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all you traders and traderettes to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host. Once more into the breach do we go, to dear friends. Off 15 points on the S&P cash. And it's, tell you what, it's been some of the most interesting trading, maybe not the most profitable, but most interesting trading over the last 2 weeks as the market has changed its character. I have to say that I am fairly bearish. And in that, I am a Kodiak that ate a grizzly that ate a brown bear bearish. And that's why I have to let those feelings pass for a little while. For those that have listened to this show a long time, I've got kind of a rule, and that is I'm normally going to be 3 early on a short. That is 3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 weeks, 3 months. And, of course, while you can handle a couple of the first few, you cannot handle all of them. If there are a couple of things I don't want to be involved in my life, one is a land war in Asia. The other one is probably going short the market going into the end of the year. Even if you do start heading down, there's not going to be a lot of volume. And, of course, that means that you probably have a good pop at the beginning of the year. Just the opposite is true. If we go slightly higher into the end of the year, that probably washes out a lot of people short the market. We've talked about just how downside in the market for a great deal is based on how many people are short and natural buyers on the way down. Right now, I said that the character of the market had changed, and I think I see a little of the reason. I don't know if I can prove it, but I think I believe it. And that is, of course, crude has just decided to give up the ghost. Gold is rolling over and looking like triple digits is probably fairly likely in the next few weeks. The dollar index, of course, has popped, and any sign of weakness, I think it's been shrugged off. 99.25 on the last quote on the continuous contract for the dollar. My guess is that means that we'll see 100 on it either tomorrow or probably going in to next week. Does that mean that everybody's running to the dollar as the last form of a place to hide out? That is one part, but two, it is the incessant banging on the drum of bigger stocks where people are getting short that I find so interesting. If there were a lot of people wanting to short Apple, of course, they would be talking it up like they were for the previous 2 weeks before this week, and wanting to short at higher prices. If they're trying to cover, maybe they are trying to cover here, but it certainly looks to me like the savage way that they've gone after a few stocks today makes it look like no matter what, any sign of weakness, everybody has really turned. And this is not small volume. This is fairly large volume. I'm looking at Oracle today, and they blew IBM down to 135.72. We'll pull charts up later on it. But I just suspect that they're just a tad early, and I would love, once again, to start seeing this market move back up. Well, that was exciting. Move back up on light volume into the end of the year to give me the best possible entry. That may not be possible, but it is getting a lot harder to say that this market hasn't reached, at least if not just equilibrium, a problem where many people are getting, and people with the funds to do it are getting short. People that have made big money in the past, like Fleckenstein and Chanos. So far, they've been picking off individual stocks. I suspect that it looks to me like they are very eager to go short the markets. I do think that maybe a lot of people in the markets were looking for yield over the last week, and when this thing got pummeled on Thursday, Friday, thought that they could pummel it on down and make a few more shekels to make their statements and their bonuses look good this year, are probably, just again a little early. And I will go back to my 3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 days, 3 months. I'm normally one of those early, and very rarely late. I'm just not one to chase stocks a great deal. If you'd like to give me a call and tell me why I'm all wet, you can at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And of course, you can put, haven't been 3 years. Normally, I've given up by then. Guy was asking me if it was 3 years or 30 years or 300 years early. No, I'm pretty much rationally optimistic, and I don't think that I could say 3 years out that I would be that far off of a major correction in the market. But, we're starting the day off. What do we see today is volume that is fairly good, not as good as it was probably at this time yesterday, but it is good, 2.6 billion shares. So volume to the upside and the downside starting to follow out. As I look at options right now, I'll have a much better view of them at the end of the show or at the end of the day. But it looks to me like they want to expire this market at somewhere around 2075, and today's just a counter bounce. So maybe we bounce up 15 points on the S&P cash tomorrow, go out at 2070, 2075, something like that. But that certainly looks kind of the way that this market is wrapped up at the moment. And we'll continue to watch it. I'm seeing a little bit of everything. I'm seeing stocks where they're pummeling it, not getting a lot of reaction, but keeping the stock down. Also seeing some stocks actually start to rally. I have one stock in my long-term newsletter. It's up about 7.5% today. So pretty good. But I basically had picked this one stock to hold on for a while because I thought that if there was one stock that could make it through all this turmoil and tumult, it would be that one. But we'll talk about that more. I'm expecting maybe a couple more good days on it, and then we'll talk about it. Of course, I will be out all next week and be back the 4th of January. I will still be writing my newsletter. I just won't be doing shows during the day. But keep a pulse on the markets, because I think I will be getting very active maybe the last few days of the year. In the meantime, it's time to get this party started.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1685, under orders from the British Governor General, workmen finished laying out a 36-foot wide street of stone and dirt in lower Manhattan. The thoroughfare, he said, runs along a wall that keeps marauding pigs and Indians from entering the city, and it is naturally named Wall Street. So if you ever wondered where Wall Street got its name, that's it, to keep the pigs out. Indians too. As we get started out here, not a lot to actually talk about. Want to bring up some charts fairly quickly. I heard a comment from Tom O'Brien a couple weeks ago, and we're starting to see the remnants of that comment. But the comment was about Kalo Bios Pharmaceuticals. And, of course, it's been a never-ending perp walk because there isn't much going on in the markets. If they can find the president to talk for a while, if they can find this guy to walk back and forth a la CNBC or Fox News, where it's the never-ending tape that runs about 5 seconds of a perp or somebody doing something or just standing there. They run it ad nauseum. But the comment was, of course, that these kind of movements come at the very end of a market, and it's true. But his arrest today, of course, on fraud charges also signal something that it's not uncommon to see these kind of things signal the start of the market and a top but it is much more common to see the arrest signal the end of a market. And why this didn't last very long, and of course, I think it was halted and probably going to open up at zero now that everybody knows it's a fraud, is very instrumental in figuring out where gamblers have entered the market and reasonable, intelligent speculators have left or are not controlling the market. If you've ever played poker, there's a saying, and I've brought it up a few times on the show, and that is that the guy is playing like a donkey. If you play wildly, especially poker tournaments, it's easy for these morons to take you out. They're going to go broke fairly quickly. But engaging them, kind of like engaging Donald Trump, you're just going to lose. The wild flailings of somebody that is playing like a donkey can take you out. And it's very common for people, especially, like I said, a lot of people, where we had a market that, for all practical purposes, has been sideways for the year, at least for the index values. You really have to think about people really getting desperate as things like the end of the year come in. I wanted to reduce my risk. People in KLOS Pharmaceuticals felt nothing but increasing the risk. And normally, that's where you get beaten like a redheaded stepchild, like a seal out on the ice floe, just about like everything. But anyway, just a quick thought out there. Wanted to get to IBM. Like I said, it looks to me like everybody wanted to get short stocks maybe today instead of going traditionally into buying gold and or buying crude, because of course both of those look like hell, and in a handbasket headed there in a huge hurry. The dollar index, like I said, probably going to pop up to 100, so there's no quick exit out of oil or crude. I don't think we're expecting any kind of down movement. In fact, Andy Heck posited a theory that, of course, the move down in gold or in the dollar was nothing more than the Fed and Treasury intervention to make the transition into the higher interest rates not seem so abrupt. Of course, within 24 hours of that, the dollar index has come back to tell the truth instead of the intermittent lies that it tells right after FOMC announcements. Normally, you get 2 or 3 or 4 movements, and then you get the truth. And as they say, price is truth, and the truth of the matter is 922 on the dollar index, up $1.35, and my guess is we're probably going to see a couple more days of that, and the next target would be about 103 on the dollar index. Why I cannot probably be very long, more than an hour or two, but at the same time, why I cannot be short until the first of the year. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crisp crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And yes, I am the turducken of bearish. Anyway, John from New York, how you doing?
Hi, Dave. You made some good calls, so I'm thinking of going in for a short term, belong the triple Q for a few days. What do you think of that? Maybe coming in at the latter part of the day.
Traditionally, from now on, or actually tomorrow,
Yeah.
you're probably limited to 1.5% up and down traditionally. So
What
it is
about
one of the
something like
worst
a
times.
T?
It's one of the worst times to expect any big reward.
Yeah.
So
what
the
about
question
like
would
a-
be, how small can you make your risk?
How about the TQQQ? That's a 3 times the.
Well, like I
Triple
said,
Q.
there's just not going to be traditionally, or at least just let's say statistically, there's going to be incredibly small movements after tomorrow. So
I
you've got traditionally, I think it's about 1% or 1.25% higher going in from December 1st to the end of the year. We're about where we were to begin with. So maybe you get 1% higher. And of course, you always have the risk of a terrorist attack, a meteor hitting the planet. And that's where I find it very tough to say that there's any risk reward, either long or short. I would say that if you were going to make any money at all, it would be either in commodities and or in individual stocks. I don't know if you're going to make any money in anything. In fact, because of the low volatility that is expected starting tomorrow or after the close tomorrow, the chances are that as these decay, you will actually lose money, even if you are slightly right. You need a great deal of movement very quickly, and that's the one thing that you don't get starting about the 5th. Normally, it's the 15th of December. Volume traditionally starts falling off. I think it's a little later this year because of the FOMC. But the question is, just how much money are you going to make if you're not trading on 10 or 20-minute charts? And even then, it's going to be less. You may be able to pick up some fast movers. But that's the problem. If you get highly leveraged products, they'll decay and actually eat up more than the unleveraged products. If you write the leveraged products, you still don't have a lot of risk reward. So probably the hardest thing to learn as a trader is sometimes you don't have to earn money like you're working for hourly wages. And I would find stocks that have the ability to actually move significantly over the next 2 weeks, or, like I said, maybe a commodity ETF. I just don't see
in that category. What do you think has a fair chance of a significant bounce?
I think that you could see some wicked bounces both up and down in gold and crude over the next couple of weeks. But like I said, it's going to be something like that, and it's not going to be anything that you probably will have a position in longer than 5 hours.
I say.
I mean, this is where, if you are a short-term trader, life can be fairly good, because there can be some very big wicked moves in things like natural gas, in things like crude, based on news. Doesn't mean that there will be, but if you sit in front of a screen, you can make money if you're sharp and quick and have a very fast mouse finger. But other than that, this is why I always go on vacation this time of year. Statistically, it is very hard to make money on positions that you have longer than, a few hours. Let me put it that way.
Okay, maybe it's good to maybe be spiritual for a few weeks.
Yeah, get it. Just enjoy the air, enjoy Christmas, have a great time. And doesn't mean that there won't be opportunities, but if you think that there are a lot of opportunities for leveraged products, that is where a lot of people get killed, and that these things will just collapse on themselves as the underlying market and volatility collapse. So will they. So things like the triple Q and everything like that, you can be right on the direction and you could still lose money.
Well, thank you very much for the advice. It makes sense to me. Okay, as I said, you enjoy your holidays.
You too, sir.
Okay, David. Bye-bye.
Bye. That's it. I mean, I always say it, but that was one of the most important passages that I had to. Took me a long time to get through, and that was Jesse Livermore's book, Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. But when I traded every day, small term charts, I had the idea that I was working for hourly wages. I tend to trade a lot farther out now for days and weeks, and you just have to wait for it. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
It's true. Life is all about choices. At Everbank, they're making it easy for you to make a smart one with this special cash offer. Open a new yield pledge money market account with funds from another financial institution, or deposit new funds into an existing yield pledge money market account, and you could earn up to a $500 cash reward. And if you're opening a new account, you'll also get their new higher 6-month bonus interest rate, along with their yield pledge promise that ensures your yield will always be in the top 5% of competitive accounts at banks nationwide. Open a new account or add to one. It's your choice. To qualify, you must meet balance and other limited time offer requirements. Go to everbank.com/TFNN for details and deposit options, or speak with one of their banking specialists at 1-855-750-4051 for more information. You must act by December 31st, 2015 to be eligible. Everbank is a member FDIC.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
I got mail. Yay! I got mail. Yay!
Tim wants to ask about public storage, PSA. Doesn't tell me where he lives, so he lives in Lutz, Florida. If you don't tell me where you live, you will live in Lutz, Florida. PSA, this thing's done nothing but gone straight up. And what else is going on out here? A very interesting move out here for the stock. But what I would probably say is that this is setting up for a consolidation. He wants to know where he would buy it again for a long-term hold. And in a market that's probably headed down, this may be signaling a market that is heading up as more people push all their goods into the public storage and decided it's time to live on the street. But you had 1.8 on my Power Law Vector indicator on the move up from September 1st up to November 2nd. A very small pullback to November 9th to, of course, the high on December 15th. Energy came off about 25%. After a move, basically 3 nice big ABCs up, you're probably looking at a consolidation range. Where I would like to buy this would be back at the 210 level, where there's a little gap that has never been filled. That gap goes back to the 24th of July, and I think it could probably come back to that area You may not get that lucky to get 210. 217.99 is the August 19th high. You're probably looking in somewhere in there to get a chance to bite on this. If the markets head down, this will come back down just a whole lot less, and you will have to have patience to get in. But that 210 to 217 range does look fairly good. And if you would like to be like Tim, email me at path@tfnn.com. Tell me where you also are emailing from, or again, you will be living in Lutz, Florida. And everybody know what they say about people from Lutz. Yes, that's exactly what they say. So what else do we have out there? And sorry if we actually have somebody from Lutz, but I don't know. I just am mad at Lutz permanently because when I was riding motorcycles on the weekend, there was a farmer that would go out and peel out in his driveway to throw gravel all over the road that was right on a corner as you would go around. And I also, of course, imprinted that all people from Lutz did those horrible things. I think more than one or two motorcyclists was injured for that. I always hoped he got sued. We do have a little bit of a breakout in ALKS. 72, 73 has been a kind of movement. We talked about this one either this week or last week. I think last week, that it had just been hovering out here. Had a nice bounce yesterday, 1.4 million shares. That's bigger than both the August 5th high at 760,000 shares, the September 7th high at 1.2 million shares. If we go back a little further on this, you do see that that is a fairly decent breakout. What I dislike is that the energy from this last leg down from September 16th to October 6th had fairly decent energy, a lot more than the way back up. And I would be watching for this, even though it had decent volume on the breakout. I would not be surprised to see this come back into the trading range as we've seen so many stocks before. Can I remember a time in the stock market history before Christmas when it thrusted down? Not anything that made me any money. Can you call on the dinners? I can't remember ever making any big money from the 15th on in any other stocks that didn't have anything to do with commodities. That's where traditionally all the action is, because commodities continue moving on while everybody goes to sleep on equities. So yeah, I'm much more. Everybody's got a comment in the den. Alley Financial, this did come out and test the lows. I was wondering whether this would bounce on the Fed announcements of higher rates. Not a lot of action so far on this one. Again, keep an eye on it, but not a good sign when you can't rally out of that. Had a question in the den also about is Uber worried about becoming Lutz, Florida's inland. There's no docks. But it is, the question is Uber coming public, or are they afraid to come public? I don't think they can go public. Their valuation is far beyond anything that is reasonable. If they went public, the stock would probably be worth vastly less than it is now. Everybody's bidded up, and like any kind of non-public auction, you can get really weird and huge moves in a narrow and thin market, which is what that market is for Uber. And that is that everybody kept thinking the market would do nothing but continue to go up. I suspect Uber is worth a lot of money. Probably right now, though, the venture capitalists have traded it back and forth and made it probably somewhere between 2 and 3 times what it truly is worth. Yeah, it's probably maybe worth at an IPO, even limited, one of the sliver IPOs, probably maybe worth 15 million, maybe 10. The idea that it's worth that much is kind of ludicrous. The reason why, there are just not that many walls to competition. That is why I've always been very nervous about being long something like Netflix. They have an intrinsic ability to move forward, but even Netflix is going to have a ton of competition coming on in the next year, from YouTube to others. And of course, if you got Google going against you now, Alphabet, they can really put a hurt on you for a while. It's kind of like going up against Amazon. If they've got a lot of cash coming in for something else, could they go a year without making any money and really damage Netflix? That is the problem with something like Uber or anybody else. If they want to get into it, they can get into it for a song. A lot of times it doesn't make any any rational idea to do something. I think I was talking to Tom O'Brien back in 2007, and I said the idea that Microsoft bought Skype for $8 billion was ludicrous. They could have made the exact same thing with probably $700 million and a ton of programmers and fixed all the problems with it and released it for 1/8 the price. Now, it's taken them about 8 years to really start figuring out how to make money on it. So they would have had about 8 or 7 billion. But of course, that was that dummy Balmer that was running the company forever. Don't let a CEO run your tech company, or CFO. Become the CEO. And guess which company has a CFO that became a CEO? Wonder what that could be. Other people, we got more mail out here. I bought GS on Monday, the 172 level. Should I take profits or just hold? Appears every time GS gets to 170, the mutual area fund buyers jump in and push it up. Jamie says he's in a suburb of Lutz, Florida. Let's go take a quick look at Goldman Sachs. You know, everybody says that this should have gone up on, of course, the Fed increasing rates. Not exactly sure why. As far as I'm concerned, since everybody knew the market was probably going up, I have a great deal of belief that all these stocks that popped on it are probably going to come right back to the level they were when it took off. So I think maybe you've got a 1 or 2 or 3 day pop out here. If you're in this thing at 170, you're basically up against fairly decent resistance on that. Let me take a quick look at something else out here. Okay. Let's go to a shorter time frame here real quick. Let me click the right button. Okay. Well, I don't know why. Okay. We've done the 50% retracement. I don't know what you're looking for in this trade, but I probably would have had my sell set at 186.40. I know this is an ex post facto, but you know, you didn't go down and test the previous low, so I probably wouldn't have been long this one to begin with. But you did get a 50% retracement off the December 14th low. And I think that's probably all you can expect. I imagine this thing could kind of meander around 185 to 190 between the end of the year and now, or now and the end of the year. I just don't see a great deal. We're going to go to Greeley, Colorado, because it's time to go west, young man, with Bobby, who is not from Lutz.
Well, I'm older than you, Mr. White. I got a question for you. Magic Jack, CALL. Do you know anybody that uses that phone device?
Yes. Well, I don't know them personally, but I've been in Walmart and sit back to watch what people buy. Right. I do the same thing in Best Buy. I kind of lurk around for a while, see what's active on a Saturday afternoon. This Saturday, I'll go to Best Buy and check it out, see what people are really interested in. Not that I'm buying it, just as market research. But yes, I do. And this has been kind of the poor man's Skype, a lot of people that don't have a computer.
Right. I have the capability on my laptop.
Yeah. The thing is, as far as I can tell, that voice over internet protocol is becoming ubiquitous. Are you thinking that this would go higher, or what are you thinking?
No, I was thinking, does it work? I mean, does it function? Do you know anybody that actually uses the product?
Yeah. Well, I don't know physically. I know the technology behind it. and I've had taken calls that are from it. It's not. There's no rocket science behind it. That's the problem, and that it makes it ubiquitous.
Monthly rate on it, sir?
What's that? I'd like a penny a minute or something, penny and a half. It's the same thing as Skype. They all do the same thing. Probably the biggest difference is you get your local 911 on it, and they set it up where you probably don't have that with Skype. But, you know, this is really kind of this, huh?
What about long distance calls?
Same thing. They all use voice over internet protocol. Like Skype and all those guys, they all just farm that out. There's another company that has all the phones and maintains them locally all over the United States and Canada and Europe. All they do is pay them a half a cent a minute for whatever their location is or something. So basically, you've got a national network with something like Skype or these guys. Then you have all the little local networks that handle and make sure that there are phone lines that can go the last 10 miles to the phone call, right? To a number you dial. So I just don't see it as anything more than a commodity like cable television with even less barriers to entry. So now, if you want a technical call on the chart, that's different. But I just don't see a lot in this either way. It's going to bounce up. It's going to bounce down. It's like having any other utility.
Yeah. Another dumb question. Buying computers. What's the best month out of the year to buy a computer, a laptop?
What's the what?
Best month to buy after the holidays or right now?
No, the week after. Between then and January 1st or 2nd.
Okay. And number 3, what's the oldest dirt bike you used to race?
Man, I had a Husqvarna back in the 70s.
Wow, you had a Husky?
Yeah, I had a Husky. It took forever to get parts.
Oh, I had a Jawa, a 72 Jawa motocross bike, and man, I'll tell you what, that was even tougher.
Yeah, that was nuts. I had that, and actually kind of an off-on-street bike that was Yamaha, that it was really converted into a motocross bike. Kind of really looked horrible, but did okay. But miserable devices. Those impact wrenches for regular screws, no hex nuts, no Allen keys or anything. That everything was always stripping out. I hated them, but yeah, they were fun. Always changing the spark plug once every 30 minutes, of course. The rest.
The oldest motorcycle you own now?
Now?
Yeah, do you own any English bikes?
No. I was never one of those guys. Ducati 998 is my oldest bike now, which I bought in 2002 or 3, whatever it was. It's got that 998 engine that was designed by Porsche, and still highly sought after because of it. It's one of the best under 1,000 cc engines ever made. They only did it for about 2 years, though.
Yeah, is that a V-twin, or is it?
Yeah, it's that Desmo design V-twin.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for the call. We'll be back after this with the last 5 minutes of the Power Trading Hour.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry, powered by the acclaimed with TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we are back in here looking at the end of the day. What else do we have out here? Super Micro, looking at this stock. There's a few out here that are kind of making some bottoms, but nothing that really jumps out at me here. Let's see what it is. A couple other ones out here. Wanted to look at Tenet Healthcare. Of course, we talked about this for a while. This one at least is back into its previous low. We talked about the real problems when some of these healthcare companies came out and said, you know, that whole ACH thing, it's a quagmire from hell. And, of course, the stocks blew down on that day, October 22nd, $26.62, 15 million shares. Looks like we got the adjustment. Did test it yesterday with 2.8 million shares and even a little bounce out of it today. So we may have found at least a temporary bottom in some of these as we take a look at them. Wayfair, another one of these stocks that seems overpriced to me. But again, I'm talking about these stocks that just seem to hang out here at the highs, and that's why I like stocks being short them probably the 1st of January a lot more than I do now, is you get a lot of this, which is this hanging fastball that just never seems to go away or break in these late weeks of December. 7.9 million shares on, what is that, on November 10th, $47.17, just a hair under 8 million shares. Of course, you spike through that with 1.3 million shares. It's just been going sideways for less than a million shares, but not giving up. And of course, what I'd like this to do is actually break up and maybe fill one or both of these gaps higher out here and continue to see very light volume. There was a gentleman asking me earlier about when's the best time to buy computers, and I forgot to bring it up. I did post it in the den. If you're looking for a laser printer, you can get a brand new Dell laser printer at Staples today for 80 bucks. What was it, 80 bucks? I posted it earlier. So we're already starting to see some of these deals come out. And this is not just a laser printer. I'm going to say you can get a brand new Dell color laser printer at Staples for 80 bucks or whatever it was, 85 bucks. The cartridge is going to cost you 120 bucks. So we're already starting to see some of that weakness, but I think we're probably going to see more of it. Look for price wars probably right after Christmas between HP, Dell, and some of the others, especially on peripherals and on monitors. I think that's going to be probably the weakest of the bunch. Everything I see so far, let's take a quick look at Microsoft, because I went to the Microsoft store and looked at it, and boy, I tell you what, they've got some big lines in the international, over at the International Mall, especially after Thanksgiving. I don't see anything yet that says this thing's ready for a pullback. I certainly wouldn't be buying Microsoft here, but you could look for this thing to come back into the mid-50s. A lot of discussion in the in Silicon Valley over the last few days about Microsoft. As we said for a couple of years, ever since Ballmer got rid of this thing, it's really been more Apple than Apple. And of course, on a day like today, with Apple sucking wind, not a whole lot to it. But that's it. Anyway, make sure to hang on for Tom O'Brien in the next 2 hours. He'll be talking about it. We're off 20 points on the S&P cash, just a little bit less than the volume we had yesterday. So volume up and down, both brisk, just under 3 billion shares as we go into the 3 o'clock hour. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. Remember to sell when you can, not when you have to.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.